Covering the Universal Orlando Resort for over 5 years, you are listening to the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 253 of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. I currently sit in the yellow corner representing the Hufflepuff house. I am your host Lee, and joining me in the blue corner representing Ravenclaw is my good lady wife and Mrs. Tracy Malaby.
Hello!
And in the green corner representing the Slytherin house and coming off the back of his first trip to Universal Orlando Resort since Halloween Horror Nights last year, Mr. Darren Schmidt.
Whatever.
And sat in the red corner, but not currently online, is Mr. Hunter Fagan. He will be here very shortly, hopefully. Apparently nothing's working. I'll call him out. He said he's at the house, nothing's working.
Unsurprising.
So, right, while we wait for Hunter, we have got plenty to get to that doesn't necessarily need his input. So, Tracy, why don't we rattle off, like we always do, and begin the show with some Producers Club birthdays?
I think that's a very good idea. Right. So we shall start with Nicole Cristiano, whose birthday is on June 24th. And on June 27th, it's Peter Taylor's birthday. Sean Hill's next, June the 28th. And finally, on June the 30th, we have Alexa Loureiro, who's celebrating her birthday. So happy birthday, everybody. Have a wonderful time.
Happy birthday.
Woo!
Lots of birthdays in that short space of time. Right, what shall we get to next? I think we will go to, if you remember back about 3 or 4 weeks ago, maybe a bit longer, I put out the call for anybody who wanted to take on my challenge of completing all the rides at Universal Orlando using standby lines and single rider only. Mm-hmm. 2 people have taken me up on that challenge. This is the second one.
Ooh. Hello to everyone in the UUOP. My name is Jillian Dunn. Lee asked me to call in and tell everyone about my recent experience completing the Universal Challenge. So for those who don't know, a few weeks ago, Lee put the idea out on Twitter that the challenge was for someone to ride all of the rides in both Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios in one day, using only single rider and standby lines, no express pass. And as soon as I heard this mentioned, I was crazy super excited to see if I could pull it off, and I am glad to say that I have. So for those counting at home, there's a total of 30 rides in between the parks. There are 13 in Universal Studios and 17 in Islands of Adventure. So I started with early park entry with my annual pass, which was at 7 o'clock because it's Grad Bash. 7 a.m. I got to Islands of Adventure, went directly to Hogsmeade, and walked right on to Harry Potter Forbidden Journey. I did the single rider option. After getting off of Forbidden Journey, I walked over to Flight of the Hippogriff and did that. And then when I got off, I proceeded over to Dragon Challenge. Now my plan, ultimately, was to finish up Hogsmeade first in time for the regular park opening at 8. My first snag was when Dragon Challenge wasn't open yet. They do occasionally not open Dragon Challenge with early park entry if the rides are not ready. So I sat by the lockers for about half an hour and waited for Dragon Challenge to be open. It did eventually open around 7:45, but by then having to go on and do both sides, I was a little bit late getting into the rest of IOA. But I got in around 8:10 and proceeded directly to Kong. I passed Jurassic Park. After getting off Skull Island, I went backwards up to Jurassic Park and did that. I then had to skip Pteranodon Flyers. Sadly, I am without a small child, but graciously, Lee has given me a bye on that one.
Of course.
So then I went down and decided to just get the rest of the water rides out of the way. My plan was to get the big ones done as soon as possible, get the water rides out of the way first thing, and then my main priority was to get the rest of IOA done, focusing on the main outdoor roller coasters first thing, just in case there was any inclement weather later on in the afternoon and they had to close. So that was my general plan. So after I did the water rides, I proceeded down to the rest of Marvel Superhero Island. I did Spider-Man single rider, Doctor Doom single rider, and then Hulk single rider. And then I got off of the Hulk and forgot that I had to do Storm Force Accelatron. But I sat there and did not spin under protest. And then I got off and never looked back. Right after getting off of Storm Force, I went over to Seuss Island. I did the Carousel, Cat in the Hat, and for the first time, One Fish, Two Fish. I did High in the Sky Seuss trolley train ride, and then headed over to the Hogwarts Express to take that over to Universal Studios. So all in all, I was done with Islands of Adventure at 10:45 a.m. And then I immediately went over to Minion Mayhem and Rip Ride Rocket. Now, I had gotten a Fallon virtual wait time pass earlier in the morning, right at park opening. Went over and did Rip Ride Rocket, single rider. And then luckily, Minion Mayhem had just started opening the single rider line just that previous week. After that, it was my Jimmy Fallon time. After that, I did Mummy single rider, and then I had to take a little break for lunch. After lunch, I headed over to Transformers, did single rider Transformers. And this is about the time that I started to get really kind of screened out, starting to get a little queasy. I was kind of dreading Simpsons, to be quite honest with you, at that point in the day. But first, I went over to Kids Zone, did that first. I did E.T., and I did the Woody Woodpecker Nut House Coaster. Then I went over to Springfield, did Kang and Kodo's Twirl and Hurl, and then I did Simpsons. After that, I went up to Men in Black and did Single Rider. It was hard for me not to go again. Usually I do it many times in a row, but I was on a time crunch. And then I went over to Green Gots in Diagon Alley. I did Single Rider for Green Gots, and then I got on the Hogwarts Express, headed towards back to Hogsmeade from King's Cross. Got off the train at 4:15. So it was very, very manageable. It was also a fairly slow day.
That's impressive.
So I didn't have a whole lot of trouble waiting in lines. But it was a ton of fun. I'm very, very happy that I did it. I was very ready to go home by the end of the day, which I didn't think was possible, but I was. But thank you for having me share my story with you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope somebody out there enjoys this stuff as much as I do. And I hope to talk to you guys again soon. Thanks. Bye.
Yes, we gave Jillian a little prize for completing it, but I know after she heard Connor's attempt at it, she messaged me and was like, I am going to do it this weekend. Since completing that, she has actually set herself out to do the same for Disney.
Wow. What? 4 parks
Yeah, all
a day?
4 parks, all major rides. Yeah.
Wow.
She reckons it's quite doable. She went to do it and something happened. I think she got called into work and she couldn't do it. But I know time is not on her side because her husband's just accepted a job back home, so they're having to actually move out of Orlando, so I'm not quite sure when that's going to happen, but I hope she attempts it because that would be impressive.
Yeah, this was impressive.
Yeah, she finished it in 9 hours. That's not bad going. And she actually, I cut it out of there because it was quite a long message that she sent me, but she actually did Shrek as well, which I said wasn't part of it. But the fact that she treated the Hogwarts Express both ways as counting.
Yeah.
But I can imagine that screen thing rapidly going through things. Yeah. Quite impressive. Right.
That is pretty cool.
It is. Darren, do you think you could do it? Would you want to do it?
Well, I could.
Yeah.
There are some that I choose to avoid.
Yeah, there's one that would be
like Stormforce.
I could do Stormforce.
Yeah.
I mean, I could.
One.
I could do them all.
But
you wouldn't be happy about 3 of them.
Oh, Rip Ride Rocket, yeah.
Or 4 of them. And there's water rides.
I would really have to have a slow day for it, though.
Yeah.
I don't think I could tolerate waiting too long for much anything. So, but it's good to hear the Minions single riders open there. So.
Yes. Darren, is there anything at the parks that you haven't done yet, ride-wise?
No. Woody Woodpecker's Nut House Coaster. I've never been on that.
We've done that. It's terrible.
You should ride it before it goes.
Yeah.
It's terrible, but you've got to do it.
Yeah. I didn't even know I was allowed to. I thought that was a kids-only ride.
No. We did it with the kids, but I can't. I don't think so.
Well, Jillian has just done it by herself.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. Huh. Well, she might have been by herself, I assume.
Well, if she had a child with her, she'd have done the
Well, she might have had another adult with her.
Well, she might have done.
Speaking of Kids Zone and things not being there, that was a nice little segue in there, Tracy.
You're very welcome.
Have heard that A Day in the Park with Barney will be closing within the next 3 weeks.
No more Echo Tunnel.
And that comes from someone who I trust quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. That's the scariest part of Horror Nights.
We haven't even seen that yet. We've been in the Echo Tunnel, though.
Is Barney relevant anymore, though?
Is any of Kids Zone relevant?
No.
Well, like Woody Woodpecker, that's a nostalgia trip for us older ones, really. And our parents.
Thing is, as well, he's not the icon of the park anymore either, though, is he? Not like he was.
And yeah, and American Tail and Fievel and all that. That's,
We've never seen
I think
it.
that is specifically for my generation, my year exactly.
All right.
It was popular for like one summer, and I think I was the perfect age for it. And then that was it. It was over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen either of the American Tail films.
No, maybe.
Yeah, American Tail and Fievel Goes West. Those are the two things I remember specifically, but anyone else I talk to has no idea about it, either if they're a little older or a little younger than me.
I think Curious George was probably the only property in there that had sort of lasting.
But for us, having Jade at that age, Curious George literally landed just over here, just about the time that we had Jade.
Yeah, and we've never been in it.
No, and she loved it. Like, so the new animated series, I think we saw every episode at least 3 times.
She's had a picture taken with him, though.
She has. She didn't know it was, though.
Oh, well, that's kids for you.
Yeah.
So, yes, well done, Jillian. And we did give her a
Yeah.
little prize that she, I think, well, she was at Volcano Bay yesterday, so...
Yeah, she earned that. Definitely
She did,
earned that.
yes. Actually, speaking of yesterday, we're recording this Monday night. Darren, yesterday, when you were at the parks, was actually the 7th anniversary of the official opening of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Hogsmeade. Did you know that?
Oh, no, I probably would have stopped by and said, what's up? But I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't know until it was actually today stuff started popping up in
should
Facebook.
have known.
We should know. I know.
Yeah.
It's
Shame
shocking
on
of
us.
isn't it? We don't know everything.
Shh, of course we do, with the absolute oracle.
We don't. What shall we do next? I think, Darren, why don't you go, as we are still avidly, is that the right word?
Avidly?
Waiting for some Horror Nights announcements because it's not very far away and we've
Tint.
still only had 2 houses announcements at this
Yeah.
point, but we have got some details, haven't we, Darren?
Yeah, a little bit here. So ticket details have been announced
Finally.
for us over here. You guys have had some ticket options available for a while now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they finally opened it up to U.S. residents. Usual tickets are available, night tickets, frequent fear passes, and more. And many of the tickets have seen very little price increase over last year. This year, actually, it was quite surprising to me. Some have stayed the exact same price. Some have only gone up like $3 or $4. When in years past we've seen significant price increases.
Last year, especially, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so. It gives me a little bit of pause, and the extreme delay for the announcement this year. It's making me a little concerned about this year's event. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
But,
if they knew it was going to be big, those ticket prices have probably gone up. Is that what you're thinking? That the prices haven't gone up, so it might not be
something like that. And it also makes me wonder too if they saw some kind of a plateau last year with attendance,
right.
because obviously they increased the prices to manage attendance, because it gets insane on those, the most expensive nights. And when you don't see the prices go up on that or Express for the years, that makes me think that at some point it leveled out.
Yeah.
Maybe with 25 being like the fever dream that it was, and how incredibly awesome it was. The next year being 26 and ending up being, a solid but somewhat lackluster with some of the houses. Expectations were low with things like Krampus and that people were really excited for, and then turned out to be kind of static and not really the best of the houses. And then Chance 3D, having a lot of things about that, and then just Chance's icon in general, not having the show or anything like that. It really, I think affected things, and I think they might have looked back at that and said, okay, I think we're able to level it out as far as prices go this year. So
I'd be interested to see what the RIP tickets are like this year, because I know obviously we did it in 25 and I think it was $1,500 for the 10 of us. I know last year's was over $2,000.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd probably imagine that would be about the same as last year too, or even going up again, because that is one thing that tends to stay popular. And
you can understand why.
Yeah, because if you've been on one, it's the best way to do it.
It's funny because I know I'm going to name plug them, but I know the Scare Zone guys went last year and they weren't overly complimentary of the RIP to us. Yeah, I think it comes down to how forward thinking you're going to be, how much you take control of what what you want out of the event. I think if you just let the tour guide go, then they're going to do what they think's best, which isn't necessarily what you want to do. Whereas we just went, right, we just want to go through every house as many times as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And even though Thomas wanted to do Bill and Ted, and we were like, no, it's crap, we're not doing it. And he's like, okay, then I'll go with your judgment. This is the man that said The Walking Dead was the best house in a long time. Yeah, and we came out of that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Bless him, he needs teaching.
It was funny when we came through, I think it was the Alice in Wonderland house, and he was buzzing because every house got better for him.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously after The Walking Dead. And he was like, who was it again said The Walking Dead was the best house? He said, I have no idea, Thomas. I cannot remember.
That was a good night.
Oh, it was phenomenal.
Yeah. But yeah, well, I was actually hoping that we would get an announcement earlier today.
Yeah.
I thought it would be coming. I still think there's one coming within, the next couple of days here.
No, it'll be tomorrow.
Of course.
Right later on tonight.
Actually, probably right after we stop recording, they'll be like, oh, surprise, we're doing nighttime announcements now.
It'll go out at like 3:00 this morning.
Yeah. So yeah, you can get your tickets at HalloweenHorrorNights.com, of course. And tune in on the next Dead Man's Digest, and we'll be discussing that. We'll be breaking down the prices a little bit more and letting you know about that, especially if it's your first time going. It'll be a good episode to listen to.
Yes.
And the next announcement whenever it happens. So as soon as that announcement happens, you'll be seeing a Dead Man's Digest soon after that.
And actually, if you go over to our blog, I know, Darren, you said you weren't going to cover it on the Dead Man's Digest. There is a leaked, rumoured house scare zone list out there, and I'll put a post up on our blog about it. And I'll be honest, if that's true, it looks like it could be a really solid year.
Which child are we selling?
It does look awesome. I know I've had tons of people when that list got put out go, is this enough to get you to come over? And I was like, unfortunately, we haven't got the money for it. But I would be gutted if that was true.
I think every house could be like Jason Part 7, and you would still want to come over here.
Absolutely.
I don't think that has anything to do with it at all.
Totally.
It could just not even be Horror Nights.
It doesn't need to be Horror Nights, yeah.
Universal's not so scary.
Yeah, that'd do.
Susaween. Oh.
I love that. I think I might have a theme for our house this year.
Okie dokie. Right, moving on. I've just realised that I missed a segue. And I even put it in specifically, but after our little Barney break there about it coming down,
I thought you said we're having a Barney.
Hand it over to Maureen, from Barney actually, for Autism at the Park.
Hi, this is Maureen Deal with Autism at the Parks, and I'm reporting for the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. And today I'm at Universal Studios, Florida, inside the Woody Woodpecker's Kids Zone. And right now I'm standing outside A Day in the Park with Barney show. And this is a live show with the popular character Barney and his friends BJ and Baby Bop. And this show is geared toward the young kids who are fans of the show, but it's entertaining for the family also, since you've probably watched the show enough you could sing along to all the songs like I could. Guests who are in wheelchairs or ECVs do not need to transfer. You can stay in your electronic convenience vehicle or your wheelchair. The benches inside the show do not have a back to them, and it's a round theater, so the kids and the rest of the family are pretty close to the characters as they're performing live. This is a great show for everyone in the family, and if you're here during the holidays, they change it up and include holiday songs and a snowman character in the show. In addition to the show with Barney and BJ and Baby Bop, after the show's over, the audience is directed into the playground area where Character Meet with Barney takes place. And it's a nice little indoor playground for the younger kids. And this is a great place to escape the heat if you're here in the middle of the summer. And this has been Maureen Deal for the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast, signing off from Universal Studios, Florida.
I've got an echo tunnel.
You're not going to get a chance to see the holiday one this year because obviously it's closing down. Interesting, Darren. Have you seen any Horror Nights construction out in that area at all, where it normally would be?
Well, you mean over by Barney itself?
Like, because that's where the entrance is to, like, The Walking Dead, and that where the
that's where the entrances go.
All right.
So wouldn't see anything going on there yet.
Right.
But that entrance over on that side, well, there was a few entrances over there, but one of those goes to the parade building, which they're not using. I think the one of the sprung tents also goes back there, if I'm not mistaken.
I think if I remember rightly, 25, it was The Purge and The Walking Dead.
That sounds right.
Okay, so yeah, Walking Dead was parade building and Purge was sprung tent 1. So yeah.
Because if they start construction over there, surely they can just do like what they did with Dueling Dragons when Hogsmeade was going to be. They could just build a wall up and funnel people through. They wouldn't necessarily have to stop that. Yeah, because I know a lot of people have been talking about when that comes to getting worked on, is that going to...
what's the impact going to be?
Yeah, stop being able to put houses over in that area completely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know which house it was. I think it's I actually think it was the sprung tent house that the line went through the stage area there. But like you said, they could just put walls up in front of the stage and, on the back side of the area there and still be able to deconstruct while that's happening. So I don't think that's going to be a problem for them.
Because I take it that the Chance House last year, Darren, the reason they put that over there will have been to replace the one that had been in the disaster queue, was it?
Right.
Yeah.
And the one from Parade Building, it looks like they're just jamming another one back over into the soundstage area. So.
Okay. I don't know how they manage it. You don't realise how much backstage area there is at those parks until you do Halloween Horror Nights. And you're like, wow, I did not know all this stuff was back here.
Yeah, and the Men in Black tent is back already this year.
Yes.
That's there. Sprung Tents 1 and 2 are being worked on. And then Shrek's also... the second theater is already closed, and as of yesterday when I was at the park, it had a 15-minute wait with only one theater running. So,
okay,
right.
It'd be interesting to see. I know I haven't put it in because I didn't think it was that relevant, but because Hollywood have just announced, haven't they, that they're replacing Shrek 4D over there with the Kung Fu Panda thing. I wonder if that's imminent to coming to Orlando.
Yeah,
anything's better than that thing.
Exactly.
Where shall we go next? We're still giving Hunter a chance.
Say thank you to Maureen.
Yes, thank you, Maureen. And I'll apologise for us giggling our asses out as well.
I've got Maureen's back.
I didn't hear anything. I think that was the spirit of Barney.
Where shall we go next? We will give him a chance to come in, so I'm going to head over to Seth, I think, with some little things.
Hi, everyone. This is Seth Kaburski from the Unofficial Guides and Orlando Weekly. And I'm back this week with a big edition of all the little things that are new around the Universal Orlando Resort. This week, let's start off in City Walk. As we walk into the theme parks, you'll notice to your left the City Walk guest services window that's next to the Red Oven Pizza place is closed for renovations. In the meantime, you can get your City Walk guest services needs taken care of at the round concierge window, which is across from the movie theater. Stepping into Universal Studios Florida, I've got a few new things to report in the Hollywood area. First up, I watched the Terminator 2 3D show for the first time in a few months, and I've got good news and bad news. The good news is that the motorcycle, which has been in and out of use recently due to technical issues, was working the show that I saw. So It's always great to see the Terminator ride out on his Harley. The bad news is that the main projection screen used in the show is in absolutely terrible condition. I'm a former employee of that attraction, and I can say I don't think I've ever seen the screen as wrinkled and messy looking as it does now. It's almost impossible to see the 3D effects because the screen that they're being projected on is in such poor shape. I do have a friend who works there who says that they are looking at possibly repairing it, but I'm not holding my breath. Just down the block at the Horror Makeup Show, the new Tom Cruise version of The Mummy has now been incorporated into the Horror Makeup Show. There is a small display of props from the new Mummy movie in the corner of the lobby, and there is a couple short video clips about the makeup in the new Mummy movie incorporated into the show itself. Those segments replace the segments devoted to the Benicio del Toro Wolfman film from quite a few years ago. Also, right outside of the Horror Makeup Show, there is a photo op background set up. Now, as you probably know, the 12th of June was the 1-year anniversary of the terrible Pulse nightclub shooting tragedy here in Orlando. For the anniversary, that photo op was turned into a special background honoring the victims, and people were posing in front of it, but the backdrop has now switched back and is advertising Despicable Me. However, above that backdrop, if you look up at the windows of the horror makeup show, you will notice a permanent tribute painted on one of the windows to the victims, including employees of Universal Orlando lost in that event. Okay, hopping over to the opposite side of Universal Studios Florida, little bit of news about Fast and the Furious. Recently they announced that Fast and the Furious is going to use the same virtual line system that the Jimmy Fallon attraction uses. And they just updated the construction walls outside of the new attraction in the San Francisco area. Unfortunately, all they really did was paint them black and put a poster on it. And the poster looks identical to the advertisement for the Hollywood version, with the exception of the Hollywood tram being photoshopped out. So not a lot of new news to be found in those posters, but hey, it's a small change. Okay, guys, let's hop on the train over to Islands of Adventure. Check out a few things over there. First of all, in both of the Wizarding Worlds of Harry Potter,
oh yes,
they have introduced a new kind of cauldron cake. The new cauldron cake is sort of a cupcake baked into a silicone black rubber cauldron, about the size of the palm of your hand. It's sold in a cute little box, and they have it at the candy stores in both Wizarding Worlds. The bad news is that it doesn't taste very good, especially compared to the old cauldrons. The old cauldrons were chocolate mousse, and they were wonderful, and they are no longer being sold at this time. So I encourage you, if you are a fan of the old chocolate cauldrons, to stop by guest services or call in and ask them to bring the old chocolate cauldrons back. Swinging over to Skull Island, the Reign of Kong attraction has recently stopped loading the first row of their vehicles. Now, if you've been on that ride, you know that the further back you are in the truck, the better a view you get of the 360-degree video screens used in the projection tunnels. Guests who are sitting in the very front row get an excellent view of the rather mediocre animatronic who drives your truck, but have to turn around and look over their shoulder in order to see most of the main show. So it's good news for guests who are getting stuck in that front row, yes, that it is no longer used. However, that should lower the capacity of the ride slightly. Also, to clarify, I had read rumors online that guests in the standby line were only being loaded into the front half of the truck, whereas all the rear rows were being devoted to guests with the Universal Express. I can confirm that that is not necessarily true. I waited in the standby line the other day and then was assigned to row 10 in the back of the truck. So that does not seem to be a hard and fast rule. And a reminder, if you are ever assigned to a row that you don't want to ride in, you can always politely ask to step aside and wait for the next vehicle for the row that you do want.
Good tip.
And last, and probably least, over in Marvel Superhero Island, Kingpin's Arcade has gotten a few new video games recently. Now, I personally don't go to theme parks to drop a lot of money in coin-op arcade games, but if you are looking for some new models that were only recently displayed at IAPA, there are 3 recent additions. There's the Walking Dead shooting game, there is the giant stand-up Space Invaders, and there is the new racing game, Nintendo Cruisin' Blast. These are games that your local arcade at home probably haven't gotten in yet. I can say that the Walking Dead game is a lot of fun. You get to shoot Daryl's crossbow. So if you want to kill a few minutes in Marvel and kill a handful of quarters, there's your chance. That's all I've got for this time. I'll see you another couple weeks. Until then, I am Seth Kabursky from the Unofficial Guide, Orlando Weekly, Attractions Magazine, Touring Plans, and of course the Unofficial Universal Orlando Podcast.
Oh, Seth. How often does he go to those parks that he notices that they've put a few new arcades in?
Interesting.
Yeah.
One of them is a Nintendo one.
Yes, I thought that.
Well, yeah, like you said, those ones were just at IAPA. They're kind of a
true.
big deal as far as those go. So it's interesting that Universal's investing that money into it.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
It's a little disappointing that he said those cauldron cakes are nasty, because, Darren, did you happen to see the video that Kenneth posted in the
that video?
They look awesome.
Of the chocolate cake.
There's like 3 inches of icing on the top of it, like hard packed icing. When we were at the park, we actually went to the horror makeup show. We didn't make one of the shows. It was in between the times we were there, but we did see the mummy display, and it's really worth checking out, even if the movie isn't.
There you go.
Thanks. Okay. Yeah. They've got the sarcophagus from the movie there, and it is like 12 to 14 feet tall, I'd say. So it's really impressive to see in person, and some of like the prop knives and things like that, and a couple of like the resin casts that they used as well. So even if you just run in there really quick to check that out, it's around the corner where Jack and the caretaker are.
Have you seen
on the back wall there?
Have you seen the Mummy movie yet, then, Darren?
No, but I've heard plenty.
Yeah, I've heard a lot more bad reviews than I've heard okay reviews.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't heard any good ones. I've heard some. It was tolerable, which is not what you want to hear. But
no.
Hopefully, they can still save the universe.
It seems to be that Tom Cruise is the one thing that's bringing it down, which is the one thing they put in there to build it up.
Yeah, and I think what they planned on being the thing to link it all together, I bet you they were going to have him appear in all of the movies.
Isn't
that's
it?
Just your everyman.
I thought Russell Crowe was the man that's holding them all together, isn't he, as far as what I've heard?
Well, he'll definitely be that for now.
Yeah.
Who was it who went to see it and they said they were completely immersed until Russell Crowe called Tom Cruise young man?
Oh, I can't remember who it was now. Yeah.
I was just like, right.
He's older than me.
Yeah.
And I don't class myself. Well, I'm not a young man. There you go, anyway.
You're not an old man, though.
I'm not young. I've had this conversation today already. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that Seth could go and point out all these tiny little changes. It's funny because when you did your live video in the Producers Club yesterday, Darren, I was looking out from when you went round past Fast and Furious and looking out for the things, obviously, because I sat and edited Seth's audio. So it's quite interesting to see those things rather than just hearing about it. But he must have far too much time on his hands to go to those theme parks and find all these tiny little details.
Is that jealousy speaking?
I would love to be able to go that often that I picked up on little things all the time. But if, like Seth, you would like to visit the parks, why don't we hear from our sponsors?
Hey you, that's right, you. Doesn't listening to the crew at UUOP every week make you wish that you were actually at Universal Orlando Resort? Well, stop wishing and start doing. Mouse and Muggle Travel Company is the perfect place to begin. Their team of concierge-level travel planners will help you every step of the way. From finding the right fit for your family and budget to customized itineraries and insider tips. They can handle it all. Even if a hiccup that is up to no good arises during your trip, Mouse and Muggle Travel Company will manage the mischief for you. And for you muggles who also love the mouse, their team of experts specialize in Disney destinations too. And the best part of all, their services are free to you. So, if you're ready to plan your next Disney or Universal vacation, let Mouse and Muggle Travel Company do all the work for you. Just go to mouseandmuggle.com and fill out a no-obligation quote request. Or send an email to info@mouseandmuggle.com. It's that simple. So what are you waiting for? Just raise your wand and repeat after me. Accio, phone. Didn't work? Muggles. Here, try some pixie dust instead. And remember, whether you're a mouse or a muggle, Mouse Muggle Travel Company can help make your next vacation simply magical.
Welcome back, everyone. Hunter is still not here. He's still having trouble with his electricity. We will hold off for our final topic, which I'd really like him to be here for. But for now, Tracy, would you like to read the email that we recently received from Mr. Jonathan Jackson?
I will indeed. Hi all. I hope you don't mind me emailing you again. I'm a long-time listener and get myself confused as I have been working my way through your old podcasts as well as the newer ones as they come out for the last few years.
I do apologise.
Yeah. Love the podcast and look forward to each one as they help me reminisce about our various trips to Florida. I wondered if you could help me with a quick question. We're thinking of going back to Florida again this year around Christmas time and for the first time thinking about staying in a villa. I seem to remember you mentioning, or maybe recommending, some villas to stay in quite some time ago and just wondered if you could remind which ones, if you could be so kind, please.
Right, we've never stayed in a villa. Let's tackle these one at a time.
Do you want to hear? It says historically where they've stayed.
Go on then.
It says historically we've stayed in hotels including Cabana Bay, which was last year. I sent you a few pictures of the volcano being built and Toothsome, etc.
Oh, yes.
But never a villa. So any comments and thoughts you might have, if that's not too cheeky, please.
We've never stayed in a villa. I'm assuming, Darren, you never have either.
What classes of villa?
So one of those like private houses, sort of. They're generally down the like Lake Buena Vista, Kissimmee area.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have one time with my family when we had like 8 or 9 people all staying together.
When was
made
that?
a lot more sense. When I was a kid, I was like 16.
Yeah,
all right.
I think I was like 16 or 17, and we did it for like a Disney Universal trip. So
I think it's one of those things. It makes sense if you've either got a big family or you're looking to save money on food by eating in.
Yeah. Or you like to spend time at home type thing. You know, if you've got a pool, you just want to have lazy mornings and things.
But I think for us, as far as I'm aware, there isn't any around the Universal area, so it's quite a trek up.
I think there's some up Turkey Lake Road.
Is there?
I think there's a couple. You know that little, as you go past, is it Dr. Phillips?
I don't know.
Before Walmart, on Turkey Lake Road, there's like an estate, housing estate.
Oh,
with
yes,
all the
there is. You're right.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there's a couple in there.
Isn't it Westgate Lakes?
Westgate
isn't that
Lakes,
one of them? Yes,
yeah, and
you're
I'm pretty sure there's a couple in there, but I've not seen the reviews for them.
No.
See, we always stay in the Enclave Suites.
Well, the last twice.
Yeah, that's where we'll always aim to go for as long as it's there. It's the best of both worlds because it's they're apartments and the privately owned apartments. So you basically get in. We get a 2-bedroom apartment. You know, it's got the kitchen. It's got a couple of bathrooms. It's got a living room. It's just on one level. I recommend those. But if you're not, I was going to say, if you're not
what you're looking for.
I know.
Because we don't know how many people he's got.
But it's obviously it's not. I was going to say, but obviously it's not got a private pool. It's got a great complex.
It's how fussy you are. Like someone like Darren will go. If Hunter was here, he'd be screaming, "Monumental Movie Land, yo!" It depends how fussy you are in your hotel room and how much you are going to stay in it.
See, we've stayed in some real dives.
Yeah.
But we've also always stayed around that top end of our drive, other than when we stayed at Port Orleans French Quarter. And that was the thing that put us off being down that area, is it's such a chew getting up to International Drive to go to Universal from anywhere sort of past SeaWorld.
Plus you're in the bubble.
I've stayed in horrible hotels all over Orlando.
Yeah, there's plenty of them.
Yeah, but how much you paid for it reflects that, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My best suggestion is, listeners, send us your recommendations.
Yeah.
If you've stayed and you've stayed in them multiple times, you know, just either email them to us, put them on the Facebook page, because Jonathan needs your help.
Personally, I would never stay in a villa because A, I wouldn't be going with enough people to make it worthwhile because we don't like people. B, it's way too far out the way.
C, I know you, and you go, oh, let's just get a little bit of food in.
Oh no, it'd be breakfast stuff if anything.
And there's not a chance. Because it's my holiday. No, it's my holiday, and going out for breakfast is part of my holiday.
Oh, then you need to find somewhere else to go, because Ponderosa finally had my eyes open to it. Yes. It's terrible.
We'll find somewhere else.
Everyone found it hilarious that our place of choice for breakfast was Ponderosa, and like, really? And the last time we went, yeah, it's terrible.
Send your breakfast recommendations in as well,
that would
people.
be good. That's just for us, not for Jonathan.
Yeah. Well, Jonathan might need it as well.
I might do.
Yeah.
Another thing to check out I'd recommend is Airbnb.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Done it, that's where you just like rent from individual private owners. And you know, there's different options on there. There's some that are just like you rent out rooms in a place. But there are other ones where you rent out the entire place.
Yeah. Right.
And I just did a search on ones in Orlando, and I just did like 10 person to make sure it would just give me like villa style places. And I'm getting rates anywhere from 150 all the way up to like 350 for like really crazy, nice, like mansion looking places.
Wow.
Okay.
There's $90 for an entire place that sleeps 10 people.
Wow.
So yeah. So I would definitely check these out. There's reviews for each place too. And they all have star ratings and, you know, from people that have stayed there before. So it's a pretty safe program to use.
Oh, look, I did read a story about a family who rented an entire house. And they'd noticed the first few days that when they got up, there was a few things not where they thought they'd left them, but, you know, they were tired and everything. And then the son got up in the middle of the night and came running into his parents' bedroom and said, there's somebody asleep on the couch. It turns out the owner had nowhere to go, so was sneaking in after they'd gone to sleep, sleeping on the couch, then leave before they woke up in the morning.
Yeah, I would check the reviews on that.
Yeah. That's a little creepy.
You know. Mm-hmm. So, yes, Jonathan carries on anyway. He says, anyway, I love the podcast, but I can't go without sharing a few thoughts with you. I have always loved Terminator and actually loved the theming, Q area. Being such a massive fan of the films, I was blown away the first time I went into Cyberdyne Systems and the Miles Dyson Auditorium. So was I. However, for the first time last year, even though it was getting very tired, and it pains me to say it, but think it's in need for a change. That's quite sad.
Yes. Well, after Seth
but after what's just been said, it makes you wonder if they're running it down.
It does. That sounds a little worrying.
Spider-Man over Transformers every day, but Escape from Gringotts over Forbidden Journey. Shock horror.
It is shock horror. And that's the last we heard of Jonathan Jackson.
All the very best.
If you're going to stay off-site, have a couple of nights on-site.
Yeah.
Because then you get, if you say 2 nights on site, depending on where, but stay at the Royal Pacific or the Hard Rock or the Portofino, you know, have a couple of nights of luxury, but then obviously get those express passes with it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd stay there just for the Keurig machines.
Yeah. That was something I was actually going to ask you, Darren, after Seth's bit. We're not going to get into it until Hunter's back in 2 weeks' time, but how did you find the queueless thing at Fallon?
It was fine. There wasn't much of a wait when we went. So like when we walked in, we were able to walk. I thought that like they held you in the rooms until like the lights change and you move on to the next room. Lights change, move on to the next room. But really it's you go in and the when the lights change is when they admit you into the ride.
Right. So
you have free run of the rest of the area. And the entire time we were there, which was all of about 15 minutes maybe, we didn't get the ragtime gals. They didn't come out at all.
Right.
Hashtag the panda was there though.
Tell me you got a picture.
Nina did. Nina was doing a video. But yeah, he jumped out at her like a Horror Nights thing, and she's like, Horror Nights isn't till October, and then he shakes his hand. He's like, no, now.
Awesome.
So yeah, he was pretty cool. And then when we walked by the ride later, he was hanging out the window at the top. They had like a pop open window there.
Cool.
And he was hanging out the window waving at people. So.
Awesome. It must be really cool to play that character because it'd be naughty.
Yeah, you get to fart. Exactly. It's like the Grinch. The Grinch has got to be one of the best characters in the park as well because you can just be, an arse. Basically.
Yeah. Well, yeah, at least when you catch it in the middle there and you don't see the whole thing like you're supposed to. But the queue area itself is it's very sparse. I was expecting more of like the museum, but it's just like a few glass cases.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but But yeah, I mean, as the whole queue goes, I can't tell you because I'd like to see like at capacity how it works.
Yeah.
Because it was very empty when we went, and like I said, it was on one color. We waited about 15 minutes, and it switched to our color, and we went in. So
right, okay.
So no, you don't have to go in when your color comes up. You can loiter for as long as you need to, can't you?
It's weird. I think it'll change day to day depending on how busy it is as well. Because if there's hardly anyone there, and you've got a color that's 3 colors down the line, they're not going to hold you back for that anyway. So
they might do.
I don't think they will.
Mean that day.
Yeah.
Well, I think if they're using that those colors down the line, that means that they filled up to that point.
Yeah.
Like they only have as many as will fit in the theaters, which there's 2 theaters. And once your color gets called, you go into another room that's very much like it's either room A or room B, and it's very much like the Simpsons loading area, where you've got like the railings there.
Okay.
And you just line up in between the railings.
Right.
So
cool. Right. It doesn't look like Mr. Fagan is going to be joining us.
No, it doesn't.
So we will move on to our final bit this week, and that is not strictly Universal Orlando, but I think it's going to give us an indication of what we can expect. But Darren, Universal Studios Japan had their groundbreaking for Nintendo World this year, so would you like to tell us some of the details about that, please?
Yes, recently Universal Studios Japan gave us our first look at what a Nintendo World will look like at Universal Park with a great groundbreaking ceremony. Then they revealed a video showing guests inside a computer-generated Nintendo World. The only official announcement they made as far as attractions was that we will see a Mart Kart ride.
Oh God, there's always one.
Yep, a Mario Kart ride.
Hey!
Yeah. And they said it'll be an attraction that's unlike any the world has ever seen, and the most immersive and cutting-edge technological attraction we could possibly imagine.
What does that mean?
Our attractions, they're the biggest, they're the best, they're huge.
It did look cool. That opening ceremony thing was really cool, where they had like the guy in the Mario suit with a scrolling background, and he was like running along as if it was the real game, but then interacting with stuff on it was awesome.
I've just thought of something I would really like to see in here. You know how you have caricaturists?
Right.
I want to be pixelated, like caricaturists but turn you into a blocky character.
That would be cool. Like
That's
a
what I
Minecraft
want.
character. That's not Nintendo though. You
No,
can't have that.
I want Nintendo, not Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
So yeah, and I don't know if you've seen any of the patents that came out a while ago for the Mario Kart ride, but it's kind of cool in that the ride system is you are hooked to, like, it's only the front axle of the vehicle that's hooked to the track. So the back of the vehicle spins and drifts around like a drift car, which is, of course, an integral part of Mario Kart. So if you're going to do that, you have to have that sensation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also there was the motion tunnels where you'd go into like a tunnel kind of area where the it's kind of a classic trick, where the movement of the video on the side makes you feel like you're going a lot faster than you actually are.
Yeah. So
it'll be a combination of a lot of different things, but it sounds like while they're going to use screens in it, it seems like a very physical attraction, in that it's actually swinging you around and going around a track. So
then, because I posted, there was one that got released literally like the middle of last week. I'm just trying to find it now because I never actually got a chance to read it properly. It was a pattern. It was there. It's Universal Multi-Rider Car Pattern shows possible details of Mario Kart ride, and it's like a 4-person car, but you're like 2 facing one way and 2 facing the other way, so like back to back.
Oh yeah, I saw that one too. I don't know about that one though.
No, it looks a bit, but it's saying that you'll have steering wheels and brakes and accelerators, so you'll actually control the vehicle. I don't know to what extent.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, and I guess there is a Mario Kart game that's like that, but it's definitely not one of the standard ones, and it's not one of the more popular ones. So I don't know why they would choose a design like that for Mario Kart.
Yeah,
and call it that, but I don't know. If that was more popular in Japan, maybe they will use that for Japan, and maybe the patents we saw were for something that would come over here.
Because I was hoping we would get something more AR rather than VR.
Yeah.
You could potentially put I mean, they could probably still do it if they use that tunnel, which is projecting the track and your sort of surroundings, then have a windscreen or a windshield, as it is in America, with augmented reality stuff on that. So, like, the things you drop in and the other vehicles and stuff could work.
That would be cool.
We've heard... How many times have we heard theme parks come out and say, it will be the biggest, the best, the most technologically advanced, groundbreaking, all these buzzwords. Will it be or won't it? I think they've got to.
I hope so.
I think with what a lot of people are saying about Pandora and then what that set the groundwork for what Star Wars Land is going to be, Universal really need to. I think we've talked about it on the last few episodes of how since Forbidden Journey, Universal have really sort of sat back and phoned it in, for want of a better term.
The laurels.
Forbidden Journey was that next generation, groundbreaking, fully immersive attraction like anything, like nothing you've ever seen before, and they haven't done anything like that since.
And the thing is, we know they can do that, so they should be doing that, especially with a property like this.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to expect that. So.
Yeah,
and they need to. They've done a lot of filler attractions. You can understand why they've done what they've done with Fallon and what have we had since Forbidden Journey? Gringotts. Trying to think now. Kong. They've expanded the parks. They've spent the money. They've added rides. They've freshened the parks up with these sort of filler attractions. Now they need to go in and create something, especially with such a huge brand like Nintendo.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be big. And as quirky as Nintendo is, with their products and stuff, they're very unique and they're very protective over their IPs. So I think you're going to see, the best technology you can possibly see with these attractions. So, and then also around the same time, a plan leaked on Twitter showing what looked like plans for Nintendo Land at Universal Studios Florida. I think this is a fan thing though.
Well, I was going back and forth with a few people on Twitter, and apparently Seth said it's legit, but it's an old plan.
Okay.
I think the one thing that people have picked up on this plan is the fact that E.T.'s still there.
Yeah, and it looks kind of silly where it is, because you're going to have to walk around that area. You will have to walk through a Nintendo element to get to the E.T., the way this plan is drawn, which is very odd.
Because I'm looking at that plan. If you go, I'll put it in the show notes and stuff. I'm assuming where that Mushroom Kingdom area is the animal actors.
It's just in front of that, yeah. I'm just working out. So I'm guessing that's going then.
I don't think that would be a surprise, because you look at it like that entry portal sections where Barney is.
Yeah.
Zelda. I'm not, because I haven't even been that far back, so I genuinely don't even know what's out there.
Kirby's Kids Playland's about where...
just that central area, where Woody Woodpecker is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Mario, like I say, I don't...
Well, no, it's more where you do the character meet and greets, where Kirby's Playland, all of that.
All right.
The back end of that, because Donkey Kong Island here, that's where the Nuthouse Coaster is, because it's around the side.
Yeah. So that it makes sense to why the parade building's not going to be used for Horror Nights, because it looks like this will be knocking out the parade building entirely.
Yeah.
Because that's what's behind The Simpsons, so...
Yeah, I know Hunter, when I put this up, he messaged me and he seems to know a little bit more about what, because obviously this is an old plan of what is still on the table and stuff, and I think he said a lot of it's been knocked back at this point. The only thing that's kind of still officially on the table at this point is the Super Mario side. Obviously we'll get that. It makes sense for them to do all the DNR. Is it DNR, is that right? R&D, there you go.
DNR's do not resuscitate.
The R&D work on that ride out for Japan, which will probably end up coming to Hollywood and Orlando. Because that's the ride. When everyone mentioned Nintendo World, everyone was like, there has to be a Mario Kart ride.
Without a doubt.
But see, I'm not... It's difficult for me to comment on this because I'm not... And I've never really played Nintendo. I've always been a PlayStation guy. So...
I know. I'll try and educate him.
Yeah, I was a Nintendo fan to begin with. We had the original NES when I was growing up, and then the Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. I didn't get into any of the other systems till the Xbox. The original Xbox came out. So, I have a lot of love for a lot of the older Nintendo titles. So.
Yeah. I used to babysit a kid. Hated the kid, but they had Super NES. So I used to put up with it, get him to bed as soon as I could. And out would come the games. Usually Duck Hunt.
I have played Duck Hunt before.
I love that.
And when I was at sixth form college, my mate had one, and we used to go and play World Cup 90 or whatever it was every lunchtime.
But no, it was Super Mario Brothers I used to play quite a bit.
Nice.
I liked it.
But yeah.
And then I got me, I had a Game Boy first and then my DS. And it's karting, except I don't know where the cartridge has gone. Jade's got it somewhere.
It'll be somewhere.
Never see it again.
So does this dispel the rumors of another park in Orlando for Nintendo specifically?
Potentially.
Would they do both?
That fourth gate, it is a fourth. We'll call it a fourth gate. It might be a third. It's just such a. They haven't mentioned. Have they even officially come out and said they own that land yet?
I don't think they have yet.
So that land down there is we're all assuming is going to be.
Do you know what? It could well be the moving costuming and stuff like that.
No,
over
that's
there.
a huge piece of land. It's got to be. It's got to be. But what they're going to put in there is
they
just.
They might be planning on selling some of it off.
I think we need to do a top 5 movie properties we would like to see come to a
we have to research all the Universal
that
stuff
would be
again.
Awesome. No, it doesn't need to be Universal. No, because let's be honest, they don't own half of it anyway. That could be actually a really interesting top 5.
You know what they do own? Back to the Future.
Do we have to be serious?
I'd rather it was that way, but you don't have to.
Can I do one funny, one serious?
You can do what you like. It has to be a top 5. You can throw like your funny one in at 5.
Can I have a Grey's Anatomy
Back to the
land?
Future Part 1,
No.
Part 2, Part 3.
If that's what you want to do, Darren, but you've given it all away now. Everyone knows what your 3, 2, and 1 is.
Ghostbusters land. Back to the 80s. There you go.
They just do a retro park and just put Confrontation and Back to the Future and Jaws.
Jaws
I'm
plus.
cool with that.
It's funny, actually. We went out for Father's Day yesterday, and you talk about Jaws not necessarily being relevant anymore. There was a family across the way from us. They weren't English. I think they were Polish or something like that.
Polish.
And they had a mother, father, and a little boy and a little girl. He was about 10. She was no older than 7. And Tracy had her Jaws bag that she got from the Film Vault when we came over in 2015. It was sat on the table, and the little girl pulled on her mother's dress and was like, Jaws, pointing at Tracy's bag. I was like, 7-year-old kid knows what Jaws is.
That child's being raised correctly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I thought that was quite interesting, actually.
And definitely, and really quick, since you mentioned the Film Vault, holy cow, they are killing it over at the Film Vault.
Really? More so than it was?
Yes. They now have signed objects from Back to the Future.
Wow.
They've got, they've got stuff signed by Christopher Lloyd, from Michael J. Fox, and from Tom Wilson.
Wow.
And I even think they have Leah Thompson as well. I think they had one of hers. So
cool.
So yeah, they're of course crazily priced, way more than you expect to pay for anything at a theme park. But they've also got like a 2.5 foot statue of Jason, like a resin statue that's $800. That's amazing. Along with just a whole slew of new merchandise for like Back to the Future and Jaws and those kind of things. That's what brought it up in my head. So definitely go check out the Film Vault next time you're there.
Definitely.
We will. And I want to go into. We've said next time we come over, whenever that'll be, we're going to buy something from Williams of Hollywood. We don't care what it is. We have to have something from out of there.
We always just go on and buy tourist tat, don't we?
Yeah.
So rather than just fill the house with more tourist tat, which I probably still will do anyway, I've said I want something betterer, bigger. So I have to ship home.
I think you say smells now.
Yeah.
Anyone got anything else to wrap up with? We've managed to cram quite a lot into this show, actually.
No.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else going on. Not really. if you're listening to this the day it comes out, we've probably had a Halloween Horror Nights announcement this morning. So let's just say Ash vs. the Evil Dead was announced for Halloween Horror Nights today, and Darren will be talking about it on the Dead Man's Digest soon. Now, how crazy would that be if that's what the announcement is?
We'll be getting a little email. Excuse me, Mr. Malaby, but how did you know?
I hope it is now. That'd be quite funny.
Veggie section.
Oh, yes.
I took it upon myself, after Lee said that we'd exhausted his list, I took it upon myself and I spent a few days visiting every park in every eating establishment on property. And I have actually put together...
Did Lee fly you out for that?
Sadly not.
It's called touring plans.
Yes. And other places, because actually some of their stuff was not correct. Or didn't have prices. Anyway. So I actually have a couple more options.
A couple?
Like 21 pages. So there is a few more options than we thought. I have included appetizers because sometimes you're not that hungry and just a snack will do. So I am working on that to make more sense. And I'll share a few more on the show, but there will be a blog post coming. Except I think that'll be handy for everybody.
Cool.
And you can just go... and I've found vegan and gluten-free options as well. So, yes.
Cool.
That was good.
Okie dokie. Right. Well, that's going to wrap up episode 253. I had to think about it there. I wasn't quite sure where we were at. Unfortunately, I was expecting the full crew to be back, but we're not. So, Hunter might be back next week. It sounds like he's probably not because we're recording the next one in a minute. But,
we'll see.
Yeah, he hasn't paid his electricity bill.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Bless his little
It's
cotton
the hamster
socks.
died in the wheel.
It might be.
Yeah.
So for Seth and Maureen and Jonathan and no one missing who was at the beginning, Jillian and Tracy and Darren and the absent Hunter, I am Lee, and this has been the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast, and we will see you next week.
Well, that wraps up another Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Thanks for listening. Between shows, please subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes. It really helps. But if you're not an Apple user, you can find us on Stitcher, YouTube, Google Play, or wherever great podcasts are found. Head over to our blog at uuopodcast.com for show notes, articles, and more. You can get in touch with us by emailing podcast@uuopodcast.com or leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/uuopodcast. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube. Just search UUO Podcast. And if you're planning a trip to Universal Orlando or Walt Disney World, please check out our sponsors by going to mouseandmuggle.com to book your next trip. Well, that's a wrap. See you next week.